Hello and welcome again to another episode of The Beach Gamer, and this episode we're going to be doing a VR response to James Evans, and it's actually the 5 worst box game arts in my opinion and in my collection. Let me just give a shout out to James Evans who started this video. He's a really good channel, he's really funny, he talks about retro games, he's very knowledgeable as well. I highly recommend you go and check out his channel. Yeah. Let's crack on with the box arts. So, this is in no random order. This is literally just 5 random box arts that I think are really bad. And I've actually decided to do 5 games, all from different consoles, and try and explain their box art and why it's so bad the best way we can. So, the first one up is actually a basketball game for the Super Nintendo. And as you can see, it's called World League Basketball. I'm just looking at the graphics and that, like, the paint job is okay at the front here, but the colours round the edge, I mean, oh, this horrible orange, it looks terrible. I mean, the font isn't great either, it's just really dull. I mean, if you compare this to NBA Jam, there's so much difference, like, you know, I mean, this looks like a 13-year-old drew this guy. I mean, I just think that's a terrible bit of artistry, to be honest. Terrible colours, really bland, really boring, and that's why this goes straight in. This goes straight into one of the worst Super Nintendo box arts I've seen. So that is World League Basketball with its colourless efforts. Okay, and now we're going to go on to the next one, and this is actually a Sega Master System game. Now, Master System, in my opinion, had a lot of bad box art. Like, there wasn't that many good ones. But, I mean, Trivial Pursuit, right? Trivial Pursuit. This is a game, right? Okay, what I would expect from a cover, right? For Trivial Pursuit, isn't it just easy to just put a board of Trivial Pursuit on with lots of colours? And, you know, and the colourful pieces. It's a really colourful game. It's just a logo. This cover is just a logo. It's just the logo. And Genus Edition. It's so dull. Plus, I always never did like the Mass System kind of background with the squares. But, I mean, it's just so boring. I mean, yeah, it's got the usual Trivial Pursuit font, but that's it. That's basically the artwork of the game. You know, they could have done so much more, I think, with that. You know, put a lot more colour in, yeah, expanded a lot more on it, but that would go back to 1970 days, and this was made in 1990, I think so, 1992. So yeah, I'm really, really disappointed with that one. Really bland, really boring. That's Trivial Pursuit on the Sega Master System. Okay, so now we're gonna go into a PlayStation 2 game, and I'm gonna do a little bit of comparison because this is kind of what I expect from games with bland box art, and this is called Family Board Games, right? Okay, so what am I seeing? Okay, it's not, the image isn't too bad. The font is dull. It's got a picture of a blooming backgammon board on it and a chessboard. I mean, that's not very creative. It's really just boring. It's just dull. I mean, I'll compare it to this other family board game on the PlayStation 2. Okay, very far, right, great. But here we have Family Game Night, and you can just see a lot of the difference. This is by Hasbro. You know, you've got images. You know, okay, you got a potato head. Looks really odd. But you've got dice. You've got a cracking looking font that stands out, made by Hasbro. You've got dice around the edge, you know, you've got lots of different images and that. It's just boring compared to that. I don't know, but anyway, that's Family Board Games for the PlayStation 2. One of the most dire attempts at graphic art I think I've seen. Okay, on to the next one. And yeah, this is a Spectrum game. This is really, I think, probably one of the worst box arts I've seen. Actually, I think it's more of a... I mean, it's called Tazword 2. And as you can see, it's got a picture of a typewriter. I don't think it's actually a game. It's more of a documentation package. But do you think they could have made a little bit more of an effort? I mean, it's just grey. So grey. I've never seen a video game well, it's not a game, I suppose, but even a documentation so boring and grey. Even the, I suppose it's very old and back in the day. But they could have done a little bit more, I think, with this. Definitely. Font is just dull. It just basically says what it says on the tin. It's just a picture of a typewriter. Okay, we've got a little bit of Sinclair colour here. But that's not, that's the only thing that kind of deters from everything else on the actual, image. I mean, it's just so bad. Like, they have not thought of anything a bit more appealing for people to pick up, like back in the day. But anyway, that is Tazword 2 for the Sinclair Spectrum. And we have got one more, and this one I think is really bad. And the reason being is because it doesn't even say what it is on the... I mean, when you buy a game, what kind of game do you buy without the actual title on it? Well, it has the title, but you're going to see what I mean, right? Okay, so basically this is it. Okay, so there's no picture, right? There's basically just a pattern shape, and it says club football. But to who? To what? It's a club football game, yeah, we get that. An Xbox game, but there's nothing else. Like, if you saw this in the shop, you'd think, okay, it's a club football game, but what club? You know what I mean? This has got to be one of the, yeah, this is really poor. This is actually a German club football game. And just to explain, club football games, okay, so they had the logo of the football team, and they had all the famous players on the front, and they stood out enough for you to like think, okay, I know this Manchester United player, etc. on the front, and we would buy all these. But there's no players on this. Okay, and I was going to show another example. For example, okay, so some of them did have no players, like this one, for example. But if you look at this one, it says Celtic Football Club, 1888. You know what you're buying. It's got the logo. It's got its Celtic green and white. It's a pretty dull cover anyway. But this says nothing. Like, what am I looking at here? Like, even if you look slightly there, it just says season 2003-2004 club football, and that's it. In actual fact, I will tell you what it is. It's actually Hamburger FC's club football game. But I just think, like, that is just so dull. No imagery. Not even the team name on it. That's so bad. That's probably one of the worst box arts of all time, I think. But I don't know how they even got this through Codemasters, I must be honest. But in any event, that is your 5 worst box game arts. Our VR response to James Evans. Yeah, I look forward to hearing any comments in the comment section on what you thought about those games or any other really bad box arts. Yeah, I'll also be watching any VR responses as well to this as well from the retro game community. I think this is a really funny subject, and it's different to see what everyone kind of believes in bad box art. I mean, James had a couple where I thought, oh, it wasn't the worst, but yeah, it's really, it could really tear debate this. So yeah, really interesting topic, and that is it for the Beach Gamer. Another episode done. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and we will see you again on another episode of the Beach Gamer. Thank you very much, and peace.